With Caitlin Clark's All-Star dream crushed, patience and change are needed. Caitlin Clark was in tears at the finish of the Indiana Fever's game against Connecticut on Tuesday night, knowing that the first significant injury of her life, a recurring strained groin, would send her back to the sidelines indefinitely. For the player so responsible for the league's skyrocketing popularity, it was nothing short of a dream that Indiana would host the WNBA's All-Star Weekend, with Clark headlining Friday night's three-point contest and then captaining one of the teams on Saturday. Instead, the heartbreak. Her arena, her people, her show, all straight off the calendar. Shooters need to gather their release over a sturdy, consistent base, and Clark hasn't had her legs all season. She lost 5 games to a quad strain earlier this season, missed 4 more games with a strained left groin, then reached the height of exasperation Tuesday night when groin discomfort surfaced in the other leg. Surely there will be subdued satisfaction from that sad minority who build their lives around hatred and belittlement, but that's just a pathetic sideshow. The reality of Clark's injury, a nightmarish blow to the entire league, was brought home the following night when Clark, in street clothes, got warm embraces from influential New York Liberty stars Natasha Cloud and Sabrina Ionescu. It's now a matter of patience and care for Clark, for this is an injury that needs proper time to heal. It's likely she tried to play too soon, and that she won't return unless she has full confidence in her conditioning. Always a source for sharp perspective, WNBA legend Candace Parker rated Aya Wilson, Nafisa Collier, and Brianna Stewart ahead of Clark as the league's top players at the moment, because they play the complete game with no significant flaws and strong measures of leadership. Clark drew the number 4 rating, ahead of Kelsey Plum and Ionescu, with Angel Reese well down the list. In Clark's case, it sounds about right. Ionescu is the league's best guard now, relentless in her ferocity on both ends of the floor, and Paige Bueckers isn't far behind. Clark's second-half mission will be to make drastic improvements in her three-point shooting, an inconceivable 7-4-49 over her last 7 games, and turnovers, leading the league at 5.1 per game. Reese almost deserves her own category. A 15-rebound performance is strictly routine for her, and her uptick in scoring is all about maximizing her strengths, virtually dismissing outside shots, where she has little touch, to perfect a face-to-basket game that balances delicate bank shots and clever passing. She's also a global icon on the culture/fashion front, admirably putting it all together on a terrible Chicago Sky team. Clark has too much humility to speak it out loud, but Fever coach Stephanie White draws a plausible correlation between Clark's injuries and a league gone mad with defensive brutality. A typical possession finds her frantically double-teamed, often unable to dribble her way out of traffic, and a number of episodes revealed officials completely oblivious to the golden rule freedom of movement that makes basketball so compelling. Ionescu and Plum are just 2 stars who get shamelessly bumped and slashed on drives to the hoop, but Clark has become the focal point. ESPN analyst Rebecca Lobo made a point of it during one of Clark's possessions against Dallas last week. "There's a grab, there's a hold, there's another grab," said a clearly annoyed Lobo. "I mean, all of those are fouls. Every single one of them." Somewhere along the line, the WNBA refs decided to allow hand-checking, long banished in the NBA, hard body checks and defensive holding, all of which has forced players to shoulder slam their way to the basket, also illegal. Games generally unfold in a pleasant manner, but once physicality becomes the strategy of choice, things turn ugly in a hurry. This isn't an easy fix. As Washington's veteran center Stephanie Dolson pointed out, it's not always easy to play through fouls, but I think a lot of girls will learn that when the refs call too many, it's not fun. A radical league directive wouldn't work right now. Too many refs and players would ignore it, but if freedom of movement demands are strictly in place at the start of next season, a measure of order could be restored. In a very short time, the Valkyries have shown they can play every WNBA team straight up. So that's mission accomplished for this first season, whether they make the playoffs or not. They've already established high standards for relentless defense and selfless play, and Chase Center's joyous gatherings are a fixture. Coach Natalie Nake's biggest concern is establishing a tight rotation with one of the league's deepest rosters. Baseball's All-Star game was a smash hit, right down to the home run contest that precluded extra innings. And if you're wondering why the likes of Aaron Judge, Cal Raleigh and Shohei Ohtani weren't involved, it was a matter of caution, managers fearful of players just sitting around, if not leaving the stadium altogether, after being removed in the middle innings, then having to crank up their swings much later at the risk of injury. Torpedo bats? They were all the rage in April, and Raleigh has used one throughout his record-breaking season with the Seattle Mariners, but the seas have calmed. Too many players have tried them out and concluded, sorry, not for me. The ABS system found just 5 challenges throughout the evening, 4 of them successful, all executed in great haste. No problem here if it becomes part of the game next season. Most pitchers don't like talking to anyone during a start, so why the hell were they mic'd up during the All-Star game? Tarek Skubal looked ready to rip the thing off. Clayton Kershaw made it work with pure congeniality, but he's the greatest guy in the world. Let's not see it again. This also must go, MLB's insipid idea to have a cameraman run onto the field during play, say, on a home run trot to get that special close-up shot. What an unbelievably dumb look. Trotting along with the camera at crotch level, he looks like a guy trying to catch a bus and take a leak at the same time. What's most impressive about Jacob Wilson's .327 batting average as the A's launched the second half? There was only one .300+ hitter in the entire National League, Will Smith, at the break. I was part of the Chronicles coverage team for the 2000 U.S. Open golf tournament at Pebble Beach, watching Tiger Woods craft a performance widely described as the greatest ever on tour. That's a rock-solid argument. Woods was the only player to finish under par, and he won the tournament by 15 strokes, but as we watch the British Open unfold this weekend, I'm thinking back to St. Andrews that same year, when I had the privilege of following Woods from inside the ropes for every shot of his 67-66-67-69 victory. Navigating a course with 112 bunkers, each with its own name, the Coffins, Hell Bunkers, the Principal's Nose, Woods never found himself inside one. He lived a dream at the birthplace of golf, and as I walked past structures dating to the 15th century at tournament's end, I felt I'd witnessed the greatest golf ever played. And I believe that to this day.